Hey, what's up, YouTube? I was at the gym and I was tired of working out, and I'm like, let me just put together a review of 2XKO instead. And this is what I came up with. I'm gonna spoil it. Here's everything I think about the game, but we're gonna go through each one, talk about what I think makes 2XKO great, what I have complaints about, and what I think they should improve upon. But overall, the general thought about this closed beta is, to be honest, especially for a beta, this game's amazing. I think this game has a crazy good future. A lot of it depends on what the future roadmap looks like, and we'll figure that out. But the base gameplay itself is awesome, right? So let's talk about everything that makes this game good. This game's free to play. You don't need me to talk about that, right? Free to play is awesome. I was actually just watching Northernline, probably one of my favorite mainstream streamers. He's only playing this game because it's free to play, right? There's a clip going, he's like, Tekken 8 costs $80. Why would I play that when I could just play this? It's free. I think having a game free to play is actually really, really nice for the population, for the growth of the FGC. So massive W there. Second thing is the netcode is crazy good. I have had very few netcode issues. I've played against Europe. It's felt great. I've played against other, like even back in the Alpha Lab 2, I played against Wade, who is from France. And honestly, like if you didn't tell me anything like this guy was from France, I wouldn't have known. This felt absolutely amazing. The netcode stays consistent. I don't know what kind of black magic they are using for this netcode, but it feels insanely good. This netcode is super good. And there's been people playing in EU tournaments that are from NA and vice versa. I was planning on playing an EU tournament tomorrow, but it got canceled because of maintenance. So maybe we will try another EU tournament later this week. The netcode is so good. You really can't overstate how good it is, right? The game also just has tons of technical depth. So for example, this is my team and I'm still finding out new tech every day. I think the latest thing that I found was I can actually convert off throws. So for example, back throw with the Lowy. So if I do a super, it actually whips, right? That's pretty bad. But for whatever reason, my team, if I mash assist, I can actually get it out. And then I can get a combo. Or I can do mash assist and I can get a conversion like this, right? Just found that out yesterday. There's so much to learn, and like obviously I can like take time optimizing that, right? So for example, there's probably combos like this I can do. Wait here, let me see if I can get it. I can probably do something like this, and then I can do a side swap, and like I haven't even fully fleshed out an idea. I just came up with that literally on the spot. There's so much to flesh out with this game, and this is only just one team. I've been playing some other characters on the side like Yasuo Jinx. I've been playing some Echo because I think he's really cheap. There's just so much to learn about this game, and I feel like I still haven't scratched the surface of like the meta. And because of that, it's really cool because it's kind of hard to tell who's cheap, what the cheapest fuses are, that sort of thing. Everyone has different opinions on who's good, who's bad, because this game is really hard to figure out, which from a competitive side of things is really awesome to see. And duos is awesome. I mean, you don't need me to tell you about duos, but I've been playing a duo tournament. Well, I've been actually playing a singles tournament as a duo at Tampa Never Sleeps, right? And we've been doing pretty well. We've been doing, let me see if I can pull this up. Most people are opting to play as a solo, right? And solos are generally considered to be better, but duos are just so fun. This is me and K7 getting second at a tournament a few days ago as a duo. Well, obviously the highest placing duo. Not very many people enter duos, but duos is so fun, and I really hope it gets pushed more because duos is some of the most fun I've had with a fighting game. Being able to communicate, being able to blame your teammate for your loss, that's a peak experience that I've never been able to experience in any other fighting game. So I think this is really cool. I'm glad duos exist, and I think a lot of newer players vibe with this as well. For example, when I watch like Lily Pichu or Scar or someone like that stream, they're always playing duos with their friends. And I think that's pretty cool. Back to the Northernline point, I think this game's actually easier to pick up than people give it credit for because there's so many different ways to play the game. There's some really easy characters like Blitzcrank and Darius. He's one of the easiest teams in the game to play. I think that makes things quite easy to pick up. Not to mention Double Down, one of the easiest fuses in the game. And then if you want to get even easier, there's stuff like Pulse Fuse that Northern Lions not using. There's stuff like Sidekick and Juggernaut that limit you to one character on point. That's even easier to use. And I think because there's so many different ways to like customize the difficulty level to your liking, I think this actually makes for a pretty interesting new player experience, and I think it helps a lot, right? The other thing I'd say is like, I know it sounds kind of weird, but knowing that there's like a really high technical ceiling helps a lot as a new player, because you're like, oh, I have so many things to learn and implement that I just need to get good at these certain things, as opposed to like just working on my fundamentals, which are a lot more nebulous and mysterious, right? Not to mention matchmaking is really good, and it matches you against people of your skill level. Again, Northern Lion's been playing for 5 hours, and he's fighting someone else that's probably been only playing for 5 hours, right? You see this 5 players kind of new, whiffing one of the worst moves, not finishing their combos, that sort of thing. That's what you want as a new player. You want equally skilled opponents, and that's what makes a game easy to get into, right? Private lobbies are dope. Even just a lobby system itself is dope. I've explored those before. You've seen them before, but generally they function well, right? Training mode also is really nice. I wouldn't say it's quite on par with Street Fighter 6, but you have stuff like the frame counter in the upper left hand corner. So for example, this is something, again, I was playing with. Did you know this move is +1 or +3 depending on the spacing? I didn't know that and thankfully we have a frame counter. But in a lot of games like Grand Blue or Guilty Gear before its last patch, games that I've played competitively, you don't even have something very simple like this. Another thing I really like is the save state function. I think it's even more intuitive than Street Fighter 6. But like, let's say there's a confirm I want to lab out. For example, this back throw confirm we we're talking about before. I can do something like this, save the state, and then I can capture a state, and then I can hit restore state. And now every time I hit restore state, I'm back at this point where I can like work on my timing for what to do after this, right? And then we can figure out maybe what the right combo, maybe it's actually something like this. No. Okay, maybe not. Maybe there's something like an idea like here we can do. Oh, maybe that's the right option. But see how like efficient it is to lab with this capture state and save state? I think this is a really nice feature that even Street Fighter 6, I think you have to like play around with the hotkeys to set this up. But in 2xKO, it's very intuitive. I like the training mode. Yes, it would be nice to have like a frame counter and that sort of thing like 6. But on average, it's a probably the second best training mode that I've seen, right? Next to Street Fighter 6. This is the most obvious complaint. 9 characters in the game. 10 by the time the game launches. It's the lowest fighting game roster that I know of for a major release, and especially a tag game, which generally you want more characters because the characters are represented on screen more because it's a 2v2 game. I think Riot knows this. I know they're working on it. Fingers crossed that the roadmap says that we're going to get a lot more characters soon, but we'll see, right? As long as they keep releasing characters, I think this is not as much of an issue. But it's the very obvious elephant in the room that I think holds this game back a little bit. For example, when we looked at TNS, the leaderboard, just a few minutes ago in this video, you might notice a trend here. There's a lot of Yasuos. There's a lot of Echoes, right? There's a lot of Alawis. You're gonna see a lot of the same characters represented, and I think not only is that just because the character is good. I mean, you have to think you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 characters represented here. You just don't have 5, Blitzcrank and Braum. So you have most of the cast represented. It's just the cast is pretty small. And I actually think Vi and Braum probably are top 8 worthy characters too. And you could argue Blitzcrank, but we'll see about that. But it's just you have a lot of like character fatigue. And yeah, even something like this, I don't play this game, but having 6 out of 8 Yasuo is kind of crazy. I think that's more of a symptom of the fact that there's only 9 characters in this game. Second issue is this rank system's kind of doo-doo. I hope they improve this rank system. I think it's good for low level. I think there's not too many issues with it at low level because it matches you against people. But when you're high ranked like me, I just get matched against people that are not high ranked, right? Not to mention this lobby system doesn't really make sense for someone that's like I could talk to people, but like I can't challenge people. Like if I can add them to a private lobby, but then when I play them, you see how all these guys are like standing by themselves? It's because they're playing ghosts from other lobbies. So you can't even like, here, we can actually see it right here. They're just playing people from other lobbies. And it's like, you can't even have the lobby interaction that you would normally have in the first place, right? So a couple issues I have with ranked is one, I think they should just let us queue from training mode. I think the lobbies are cool, and in casual match, I think they function well because you could talk to people after and you have that sort of thing. But I think it would be really nice if we could just queue from training mode in rank specifically. And yeah, they need to fix the matchmaking, but because for some reason I keep getting matched against like emerald players, diamond players when I'm a top 10 player in the world in ranked right now, right? So for example, this is me. I hit a 50 game win streak just very casually, right? Like I was talking to Chaz, reading subs. I wasn't like sweating super hard, and it's because I didn't need to, because I didn't fight any of the super strong players that were also on at the same exact time. It's not a population issue. Like literally Void, the number one player, the guy that's been grinding ranked the most and is the number one player at the time, he was on the same exact time. We didn't run into each other once, where realistically I should be running into him at least a couple times before I run into like a random diamond player, a random emerald player, right? And I think right now we fell down to 15. Yeah. So this system's more of a, you just have to keep grinding system. As you can note like the people with the highest placings have way more games. So Void has 533 games of ranked. Yeah, there's a couple people in the 200s. Yeah, this guy has 547, 273, 300. I have 122, right? Which means I got there quicker than most people, but it's not really representative of like your true rank. It's more of like who can just grind through the monotony of a bunch of emerald and diamond players in order to be on the top of the leaderboard, right? And so it's a little frustrating that, you know, the system doesn't quite work as well as it could, but I think there's a good base, and it's probably just a little tweaking that Riot needs to make, and I think it'll be good for all players instead of just the lower level players, right? The rest are just some minor complaints I have. I was on a 15 win streak. I actually didn't lose. I didn't lose. All I did was exit the lobby and I came back in. I should keep my win streak. Like in Street Fighter 6, you keep your win streak when you stay on a win streak, right? I haven't actually lost. I just won 50 games and then I quit the game because I was bored, because I was just beating up on emerald players, right? You should keep the win streak. Same thing, like the people that have really high win streaks, like this is a 10 game win streak. The guy that has like the blue flame, there should be like something via like a 25 game win streak or a 50 game win streak. It should be like really cool. Your PC should be like exploding. I don't know exactly what. And other than that, everything else is just wish list, right? You can't see other people's rankings. I think Riot does that intentionally, so you can't actually see them. But you have to like click on their profile and then like do inspection to see their rankings, as opposed to like just seeing right off the bat, like in the actual match, right? So like in this match, like here's the UI of what it looks like. I can't tell what rank these guys are, right? They could be emerald players, or they could be like two of the best players in the world. Like wouldn't this be really cool if like I could see this guy was like rank 2 and this guy on the right was rank 5, and I'll be like, oh shit, these guys are playing for like the #1 spot. But no, it's like we don't know what rank they are, and like I guess I could like technically find out because I could view their career profile and find out this guy's grandmaster, but like it doesn't really have the same effect, you know? Here's the wish list. More fuses would be cool. I think adding more variety, more depth to the game is always a good thing, but I don't think it's necessary. Replay takeover would be so peak for this game because there's just so much to lab. Here's some hot takes. Echo, Yasuo, and Jinx are broke. Ari's underrated. Not the worst character in the game. I think Blitz is overrated. This character is not that strong. In fact, I think there's an argument he's bottom 2. And I think the duo fuses are pretty well balanced. People say freestyle is so bad. I think freestyle is really good. You look at characters like players like Wawa in France, they're absolutely cooking people with freestyle. I think this freestyle, even though it's a 5-second cooldown, it gives you more utility and stuff like 2x. So I think they're actually pretty well balanced. But that's all I got. Let me know what you guys think about the closed beta. This game's really fun. Even though I have some criticisms, they're mostly out of my desire for this game to be even better than it is now, because I think this game is pretty peak. All right, like, share, subscribe. Take care, y'all, and peace. And actually, I do agree. First time Jared Piggy, buff Juggernaut. I do think Juggernaut and Sidekick need buffs, but I'd probably make them like kind of minor, because I see a lot of the new players complain about Juggernaut, which is a good sign. Anyways, peace out.